EIA or Environment Impact Assessment has long served as a checkpoint for the effects of a project on its surrounding environment and resources. Recent drafts, however, have suggested unpopular changes that are being seen as dilutions of public involvement. The draft for 2020 includes amendments such as exemption of certain projects from public consultation and the allowance of post facto project clearance. But what is the EIA, and what are these unpopular changes that have caused a mayhem in our country? Let's try and find out. Environment Impact Assessment was popularized in the 1970s when it was added to the law books of countries such as US and New Zealand. In the 80s, its importance spread to Asia, and in 1994, the Ministry of Environment and Forest added the notification to the Environment Protection Act of 1986. This move was a game changer, as until then, the government lacked any legislative backing for environmental clearances. Essentially, the EIA acts as a check on the impact of a development project on local environment and weighs in both the benefits and the costs. It also analyzes socio-cultural and economic impact of the project by involving public opinion in the process. A 2006 notification by the Ministry of Environment and Forest stated that projects dealing with mining, thermal power plants, infrastructure, and so on are mandated to get environmental clearance. The decision, however, relied on the capacity and size of the project. That is, areas between 1.5 lakh square meters and 3 lakh square meters would be referred to state level authorities, while areas above 3 lakh square meters would get clearance from the center. To understand the issue better, let us take a look at the basic structure of an EIA process. A screening process determines whether the project needs to be assessed, and if so, prescribes a level of assessment. There are three main categories: A, B1 and B2. Category A requires clearance from central level authorities, which are Impact Assessment Agency and the Expert Appraisal Committee. Category B1 projects require clearance from state authorities, which are State Level Environment Impact Assessment Agency and State Level Expert Appraisal Committee. Projects excluded from environmental clearance are categorized under B2. Scoping recognizes the issues and effects that require investigation and sets a time limit and the scope of the study. Impact analysis records the potential environmental and social effects of the projects and the extents of the effects. The mitigation stage makes recommendations to reduce the adversity of the effects identified. A report is drafted to be sent to the decision-making committee and other parties involved. A review provides these bodies with necessary data to aid the decision-making process. There are three decisions that can be reached. The project is either approved, rejected, or asked to make certain changes. An approved project is subject to post-monitoring, which keeps a check on the jurisdiction of the project in relation to proposed guidelines. The involvement of the public in the process of EIA is the most prominent feature of the Act. It expands decision-making to those who may be directly affected by the project. The draft notification of 2006 defines public consultation as the process by which the concerns of local affected persons and others who have plausible stake in the environmental impact of the project are ascertained with a view to appropriately take into account all such material concerns while designing the project. There are two stages to a public consultation. The first is an on-site meeting or in proximity to the concerned area, which may be district-wise in case of a widespread project. The second stage encourages written responses from individuals who may have a stake in the local environment. However, a public consultation cannot be applied to B2 projects, or those concerning national security and defense amongst other clauses. In comparison to the 2006 draft notification, which laid out the guidelines, categories, and projects that mandatorily required environmental clearance, the 2020 draft notification has garnered more criticism than resolution. The 2020 draft introduces the post facto clearance, which allows illegal projects that have already commenced to either receive minor fines or be given clearance to continue. This begs the question of sturdy roadblocks and what loopholes in the draft can be exploited. It also completely undermines the rulings made by the National Green Tribunal in 2016, which had refused to allow corporations a last and final chance to obtain an ex post facto clearance. Further, the frequency for project proponents to submit a compliance report every 6 months has been cut down to only once a year. Another concerning alteration of time periods has been the extension of clearance for mining from 30 years to 50 and 10 to 15 for river valley projects. These periods expose regions to potential irreversible environmental damage and health issues. In terms of public involvement, 14 types of projects are now exempt from public consultation, as are projects that only expand to half its initial capacity. Offshore and onshore oil exploration has been shifted to B2 category and now only requires online permission. Additionally, the duration for receiving public response has also been shortened. Aside from exempting projects of national security and defense, a new category vaguely termed Other Strategic Considerations has also escaped the public radar. Areas now can be declared economically sensitive areas without public consultation, which are automatically exempted from the mandates of EIA. In contrast to the older draft notification, there seems to be an active attempt to reduce the role of the public in industrial projects. With the recent privatization of the coal sector increasing the environmental risks in India, there seems to be an evident shift in scientists' priorities. In order to understand this issue better, you can check out a previous video on privatization of coal right here. The draft has received backlash from the public owing to its exclusionary nature. When released, the public saw fit a 60-day extension on giving feedback, but the Environment Minister settled for a period of 20 days to June 30th. The decision was overturned by the Delhi High Court, and the 60-day extension set the new date to August 11th. However, there is very much an attempt at curbing opinion. The Print and Huffington Post India reported that environmental organizations protesting the draft notification had had their websites blocked. Let India Breathe, Fridays for Future, and There Is No Earth Be found that their websites had been censored by National Internet Exchange India, a public sector company responsible for routing domestic traffic within the country. In tandem with Javadekkar's attempt to crunch the deadline for public feedback, there seems to be a marked resistance towards the feedback being received. Appeals have been made by drawing parallels with the Indian Constitution, which mandates the protection of forestry and wildlife. Further, with local communities getting the only say in matters pertaining to them through public consultation, there needs to be more emphasis on the significance of their voices. The dilution of the stringency in the new drafts leaves very little control over projects to the common people and questions the legitimacy of the new guidelines. Attention must be paid to the reports and studies released in protest against the EIA. For example, Vindhyan Ecology and Natural History Foundation has a 40+ page report detailing clauses, suggestions and recommendations pertaining to public consultation and environmental clearance. Other recommendations include introducing multiple levels of analysis, strengthening the efficiency of decision-making bodies such as the EAC, providing comprehensive definitions to increase transparency, reorganizing the categorization of A, B1 and B2, making all documents available in the public domain, and increasing the role of public consultation. Any real acknowledgement of the response can only be evaluated after August 11th. With ongoing online protests by environment activists and organizations, there is a constant flow of pressure on the government to review the changes in the 2020 draft of EIA. What do you think about the guidelines in the new draft of EIA? And what suggestions would you give to the government? Let us know your thoughts in the comment box down below. You can follow us on our social media handles and our website for more such stories. The links are in the description. Stay safe. See you next time.